Um, okay, I'm trying to be quiet because I don't want to I don't want to disturb my roommates. But I really wanted to do a reading or just deliver a message. I feel like I haven't posted anything in a very long time, and I was hoping to just share anything that was coming up. Um, and so I was originally going to ask Spirit for a message, and I mean, Spirit isn't everything, so I think that's okay. I just feel like I'm being so loud, even though I'm talking quite quietly. But I think that's just because there's no other noise going on. So, anyways, yeah, I was gonna ask Spirit for a message. Hold on. I was gonna ask Spirit for a message. Hold on. I was gonna ask Spirit for a message, but I decided instead. I was looking outside my window, and I've been seeing. I always see faces and shapes in trees and things like that. Um, and in like, but anyways, uh, I saw a face that I had just recently noticed in the tree, and I asked if that tree spirit wanted to deliver a message. And I asked for um, a song to be given to me to listen to, and then I split my deck and started picking cards. Anyways, so the song that was given was Fire by Sir. And it's at 222, yeah, which is funny. Fire by Sir. And some of the lyrics are, well, I ain't about to roll it if I ain't rolling that fire, yeah. Know the sun is going down, but I'm trying to take you high. We both know this house can never be a home, but ain't you sick of spending all your nights alone? If it's loving that you want, girl, I promise you desire. And then we have our deck spread. So I listened to the song and I was singing along because I love that song. And then I kind of had some thoughts come up, but I didn't really pick up a story yet. So I just kind of was doing other things. And then, just as I was singing it just now, I kind of felt like it was almost like I just saw 333, and there was 222 on that clock on the song timing, so alignment. But anyways, I kind of feel like the tree spirits and kind of all of the aliveness and the consciousness in the earth around us, beyond human beings, are kind of like, I felt like that song was almost like them trying to tell us, like, the changes that we're going through on earth and the death energy that's in the air and the rebirth, the transformation energy, which is interestingly aligned, seeing that it was just a new moon in Scorpio yesterday, and it's still new moon energy and eclipse energy from what I understand. I think that they were trying to basically be like, you're not going through this rebirth or this death alone, none of this is being experienced alone, and you don't have to kind of brave it on your own. And in fact, I just saw 444. And in fact, you're not going to. Like, part of this awakening and ascension that, we are talking about that's happening right now is, which I've been saying a lot, is the spiritual becoming physical. And that means more often acknowledging that the faces that we see in the trees are not just a figment of our imagination, or even if they are, that doesn't mean that they're not real, right? And that face that I see in the tree right now is a very real energy that is connected to me through the concept of oneness, but is also an independent soul, an independent expression of spirit, independent from me and alive and conscious in their own way. And more, I think that we're going to start to see the metaphysical and the spiritual kind of pick up a life force energy and bring it back to earth. And part of that is all of us doing the work of pushing aliveness into Earth's body, right? And so now the trees are going to start to take on aliveness in a way that we recognize it, but they've always been alive. But as we ascend, or whatever word you want to use, as we just move into a more loving space and a more accepting space for the fact that we do not know it all, and that the world is very vast, and that the universe is vast, and there's so much that exists all at once. As we move into that space, we're going to be able to start recognizing everything and all of the life that exists around us. And it's not that it wasn't there before, but we just couldn't really see it in the way that we can see it now. And part of the being able to see it now is because the veil is down, because death is all around us. And death has no secrets. Death hides nothing. Everything is exposed. In the darkness, there's nothing to hide. Nothing's being hidden. Everything is right there. And maybe you can't see physically, but you're still seeing, and you're feeling, and you're creating, just in a way that we don't always acknowledge as creation in the incarnating experience, at least so far in my life. But yeah, and the face in the tree looks like they're sleeping, but then when I was speaking to the face, the tree spirit, I felt like I saw their eyes, or just one eye, and it was like looking at me. Anyway, so if I know I ain't about to roll it, if I ain't rolling that fire. Now the sun is going down, but I'm trying to take you higher. It's also like this idea of creating our own sense of aliveness and consciousness and fire. You know, the sun is kind of seen as like this essence of life, and as we move into this death state, you know, everybody talks about like the dark ages, and these are dark times, and darkness is ahead, and trying to fight off darkness with the light. But once we move into a state where we can understand that, you know, light and darkness and fire and life and death are all words that can mean many different things in different states, and different like realms, you know what I mean? So like the physical means like something solid in this realm, but the physical can mean something very different in another realm, in a different reality, and it's still physical. It's just that physical has many manifestations, and that is the quality of source, understanding that one thing can be many things, and all those things are independent and valid and real, but it's also this one thing, you know. And I feel like we're creating our own sense of aliveness, and I think that probably is coming from the fact that our earth is going through a transition into a state that we will have never known her within, because none of us on this planet have experienced her death state before as us. Maybe our souls have, but we haven't. And when she does pass on and is reborn again, we will be experiencing an earth that we don't know. We know her ancestor, we know her mother, but we don't know this new earth. Who knows if we'll even be, calling her Mother Earth, might be a totally different understanding altogether. It's probably going to be a completely different earth altogether. And there's 1111. And that's okay. But coming to accept that, we both know this house can never be a home. But ain't you sick of spending all your nights alone? If it's loving that you want, girl, I promise you desire. I've also spoken about how the immigrant experience is the Earth experience. That Earth is a planet of immigrants, and Earth herself is immigrantee. She's very nomadic. And as we move into this state, into the death state, and then the rebirth state, we are going to be immigrants in this new Earth, human beings, because this is not where we come from. We come from the ancestors. We're also going to be ancestors ourselves, ancestors living in the physical, in the present. So then again, we have the spiritual becoming physical. But yeah, we have this concept of, this house, this earth, is not our home, but it doesn't mean that it's not a place that you can belong. It's not a place that you can build home out of. It's not a place that you can love and find love and grow roots. And it's also this act of completely healing and reframing our experience around migration and settling down, because human beings, just with the history of colonialism, we've built up a pretty horrible relationship with migration and with exploration and with immigranthood. It's been weaponized. Like, many people have become immigrants because their homelands were destroyed or they were pushed out. Or people come here as immigrants and then completely push out the people who were here originally, and there's just no respect for the people or the land, and all the spirits and creatures that are here that have to move. And we just have a really warped relationship with land and belonging and movement. And so I think that, part of this death and rebirth of the earth is also helping us to heal, which is not just a generational, but like a species-wide relationship with migration and movement and belonging, so that we are all now put into the position of the immigrant and all now put into the position of the ancestor. And so feeling like you don't belong in the space that you are in, and having to find a way to deal with that and work with that energy in a positive way, learning from our past mistakes and making a different choice this time around. Yeah. If I ain't yeah, the sun is going down, but I'm trying to take you high. Oh, well, we have the sun here. 'Cause I ain't about to. And we have the king and the queen of wands, which is fire. Isn't that funny? And then we have temperance with healing. And we have right behind temperance, we have death. And then we also have the tower here, the page of swords, daughter of knives, four of knives, three of wands, three of sticks, and the hermit. Yeah, and so much of the work is going to be rest, and so much of the work is going to be accessing stillness. Even looking at the tree now, I was thinking about, so I'm at this place where we do yoga in the morning, and I tend to look at the trees just when I'm trying to pick something to focus on. And we have a tree pose that we did today, And I was just thinking, because the trees here are so big and tall, and yet they move so easily, but they move in one place. And I guess the term stillness of the mind, movement of the body, movement of the body, stillness of the mind is coming to mind. Yeah, the love is going down, but I'm trying to take you higher. We both know this house can never be home. Ain't you sick of spending all your nights alone? If it's love that let you walk, girl, I promise you to stay. I'm even just thinking about the fact that fire is an element that is created. Air is created. But no, I'm thinking about oxygen. Air, and not in the sense of oxygen, but just air, and water and earth are things that are just there as they are. Fire, though, is something that's created. You can't just find fire, you have to make it. And fire, which is why it represents creativity and magic and, intuition and creation. Because when human beings learned how to make fire, that was that was like magic, and it is magic. And I feel like, oh my God, I feel like that is so that kind of breakthrough is the type of realization that changes people forever, that changes not just the people who learn that then, but changes a species in terms of how they will exist forever. Learning how to create fire changed everything forever. It brought together the concept of light in a way that you could create that and have that in your life. I mean, it did so many things on so many levels. And I feel like we are about to receive another one of those moments. I feel like we're going to receive another one of those moments in this lifetime, at least in this generation, or the next few generations. We are going to experience like a moment of learning how to make fire. And it's just about, and it's coming along with this awakening process and this death and rebirth process. Every death and rebirth brings new gifts, brings transformation, brings transmutation and evolution, and revolutions of the soul and the mind and the gifts that we have naturally. And I feel like it's a coming home and a coming back to our natural spirit, creative spirit. And I should have said it. When I first listened to that song, I thought about sexual energy. And I've been feeling that a lot. And I didn't realize that it was connected to the Scorpio, double Scorpio, Sky and Scorpio, Moon and Scorpio. But Deborah Silverman taught me that. But yeah, I'd been feeling that energy around pleasure and things like that. But that energy is so strong, and it's strong in my life, just in general. And I realize that I have some shame around that, but I'm working through it. But anyways, spiritual sex work is a topic that I'm really interested in. And I feel like we're going to have another one of those moments in this lifetime. And it's something that is going to be accessible to everyone because it's something that we are all naturally capable of when we work with the earth. And it's going to be another one of those moments of learning to create something that is going to shift the way that everyone exists as a species and all earth beings exist, and the way that the earth exists. Like the moment that we learn to create fire. So you can imagine how impactful that is. And that's why we're seeing so many things come to life, because we're in an era of new things awakening, and it's not anything new, but we're seeing it for the first time quite clearly. And we're also going to be able to get in touch with magic that we didn't know we had been separated from. Like, imagine how those people's lives changed for the better. And imagine the other side. Everything has balance, right? Fire causes destruction in many ways. Fire burns. They say that the world, in the Bible, I think it's like the world ends with fire or something like that. But every ending is just the start of a new beginning. Whether that involves us as human beings or not, I don't know. But it might be that we're transitioning out of this era of earth energy into fire energy. And so maybe, it's like initiation through fire, which is so funny because there's a story like that. There's a story like that here of the woman who now runs this place that I'm at. It was initiation through fire. The temple burned down, or burned, and yeah, that was like her initiation. It wasn't on purpose, but that's what happened. And I feel like there's something like that, like something is going to be created. And yes, of course, there are going to be the destructive qualities, but it's not going to outweigh, and it's not going to stop the progression and the ability for people to be in control of their lives. I was just looking at all the angel numbers appearing. I've never had that realization before, so I'm quite excited because, well, I can also feel myself talking like and behaving like the people who live here, which is how I know that I've felt a strengthening in my own abilities, natural abilities that you have too, that we all have. Nothing special about me. Everything I have, you have too. But I felt a strengthening in my own psychic abilities. And the fact that I'm doing that just lets me know that they are getting stronger. Yeah. Even like I was looking at the tower and I was like seeing things more clearly or something like that. And it makes me think of what I just spoke about, And it's like, well, which way do you want to see it? Both are different lenses. But you see how this lens is being handed to them? It's coming from an outside source. And that's how I kind of feel about the tree spirit. Like the tree spirit is giving us, and the earth and all of the different creatures and energies that live here are giving us this opportunity to see something in a different way. Because just because fire hadn't existed as something that we could create as human beings before we learned how to create it, doesn't mean it didn't exist. Fires happen all the time, as we can see with the forest fires. That type of thing happens all the time. Change energy is huge because I keep seeing 555. Yeah, but forest fires are a thing, right? So it doesn't mean that that didn't exist, and it was a gift that was handed, by an outside source, by probably the earth, right? Because the earth was like, okay, sticks, you rub them together, you do it like this. The earth was speaking to them, and the earth is speaking to us now. The trees are speaking to us now, and they've kind of already been beginning this, death by fire, initiation through fire with all of these forest fires. They are kind of the symbol of climate change. The forest fires kind of have been like the thing that people look at and they're like, wow, we're going through a big situation on Earth. So they've already taken on this embodiment of death by fire, initiation through fire. and I feel really good. I feel really good about it. Like, I feel like we're adding into a really magical and powerful era. And yes, of course, everything in balance. So that's going to bring things that are scary, that are also powerful. But, you have to choose which position you want to come at things from. Give yourself the space to be afraid, but also don't let that completely determine the way that you exist in this new era. Because it seems like the gifts that are going to be coming out from the earth, from the tree spirits, from all the energies around us, are going to be things that every single one of us can access. And so you're going to get to make a choice. And you want to make that from an empowered place. And it's even this decline of like hierarchy and dependence on things that are bigger than us in order to make us feel like we are worthy or able to survive. And it's like pulling this fire from within you. It's a lot of sacral chakra energy, and even having the sun here, but it's like she's the sun, right? It's within you. And even, the sun is going down, but I'm trying to take you higher. It's like you don't need, and we love the sun. We love sun energy. We love the sun. But I think the sun is even trying to teach us, to not be so dependent on us, on her, and on him, on them. And to understand that sun energy is also a manifestation of source. And just as we are a manifestation of source, we are connected. And the sun lives within us. We are the people of the sun. But yeah, we have the King and the Queen of Wands here. They've also been coming out a lot, following me around. King and Queen of Sticks, Mother and Father, and the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun. Always the Sun, courting, Hermit, yeah, Temperance, Father Sims. And what I love about this, oh my God, and it's even that, like, we have this, with spirituality, a lot of the time, it's been shame around humanness and earthness. And, sorry, not shame around earthness, but kind of around being an incarnating being. Like, that's like the bottom of the barrel. And, we really reach for, like, the intangible things, the angels, the goddesses, the gods, that type of energy is what we prioritize. And I was really connecting to this tarot deck that somebody who lives in this house let me use. And it was all about Zen. And they were saying, and in the book, in the guiding book, they're talking about how Buddha is something that we all have the ability to become. Buddha is not like a god, or even if so, then we all have the ability to be gods. And I was literally writing a play about that. And I know that that's not a new concept, but just getting to the point that there's no shame around being an incarnating being, and it's not lesser than. And being a human being or being on earth and not being an angel is not lesser than. You know what I mean? And all of the energies that we strive towards and we look up to are things that are reflections of ourselves. Everything is a reflection of us because we are all reflections of spirit, of the Divine Mother, of whatever you connect to, but of this oneness, and so it's no hierarchy. It's all aligned. It's all completely, connected. And aligned can mean many different things. This can mean aligned. This can mean aligned. This can mean aligned. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, this is not the only thing that means align. Straight and linear is not the only thing that means aligned. Aligned is what it means to you. It's a feeling. 'Cause I ain't about to roll it if I ain't rolling the fire. And it's just amazing to see the different role that we all play in each other's awakenings. Because I'm sure that Sir didn't think that I would be using his song to talk about this, or maybe he did, but I am. And that magic exists in that song, and he wrote that, channeled, just from his creativity. And that lets me also want to say, if you have anything that you enjoy doing, anything at all, do it. Because the earth needs that energy. Everything is creative. Anything that you enjoy is creative. Okay? You don't have to be a dancer or a singer or an artist or anything like that. You are an artist by just being alive. You are an artist, okay? So do the things that you enjoy. And honestly, it is as simple as following your heart. If you want to help the planet, follow your heart. We were just talking about that today. Cause I ain't about to roll it. Oh, Judgment. Judgment's been coming out like crazy. Oh my god, I haven't showed you guys yet, but I've been doing bone readings. I've only done like 3, but I can show you 10 of Wands. Okay, hold on. We both know this house can never be home. Ain't you sick of spending all your nights alone? If it's love that you want, girl, I promise you, 'cause yeah. Hold on. Is that better? It's such harsh lighting. Okay, yeah, I wanted to see. It's quite a lot of bones. Yeah, Spirit just said like 3 or 4. Or maybe they said take out 3 or 4. I don't know. 1133. No, 8. I always have such an urge. Okay, so. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that also makes me think that. Okay, hold on. Hope I don't regret that. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so that also makes me think that everything that is going to happen is going to happen. It makes me think that we're in like the hands of destiny. We're in the hands of fate, and it's a good thing. Okay, there's no way to mess this up. So anything around anxiety, around feeling like I don't know how to get to where I need to go, that's just your anxiety. And anxiety is human, it's normal. The earth experiences anxiety. Everything that we experience, the earth experiences. And that's not like to shame you, to be like, so don't be sad because then you're gonna make the earth. No. Everything that comes from us, the earth also has. We are literally her kids. Like it's handed down. It's genetics. It's our gene code. Okay, so don't let anyone shame you. Yeah, I just love the dark. Don't let anyone shame you, okay, for feeling how you feel. Anyways, so literally when I dropped the bones, the first time and just put them on the desk, this pattern, I'll show you. I don't know if you'll actually be able to see anything. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. So that pattern, specifically, specifically this, that was like that the first time. And I noticed it. I looked at it and I was like, But I was like, oh, I need to shuffle, and there was too many bones. So I took out some bones. I took out 6. I took out 6 bones, and then I kept 4. Not 4, obviously. 8. I kept 8. And then here we go. The same thing came out, which makes me feel like we're in the hands of destiny right now. There's nothing you could do. You could move this way, you can move that way. Nothing's going to stop this. And death energy is destiny energy. It is fate, right? Because death is unavoidable, and that's a good thing. Same way that life is unavoidable, and that's a good thing. So let's look at this. I'm about to roll it. We both know this house can never be a home. It makes me think about, like, in some way, everyone is going to be leaning in. In some way, we are all going to be touching and connected to each other. And that also makes me think about the way that physical touch is fluid. And somebody here, the same person that lent me that deck, it's called the Osho Tarot, Zen Tarot, is telling me that you can feel your energetic, your spiritual body. It's kind of right above your skin, and if you go like this, that's like a way to clean it or like smooth it out and just caretake, which is so sweet also, right? Because it's like just like soothing. But physical touch, this is physical touch, and this is physical even though we can't see it and it's not tangible. It's still physical. You see what I mean? So the physical exists in many different ways, and with all these bones, there's different expressions of the physical, especially when it comes to communing with others. You know, some of us are going to be touching through our light bodies, through our spiritual bodies. Some of us will be physically, will be touching in the 3D, but some of us will be touching in the 5D. Oh my God, I should have said it earlier. See, but it doesn't matter, because either way, what needs to come around will come back around. You see what I mean? We're in the hands of fate. But anyways, it makes me think, see, earlier I was going to mention, because I mentioned this before, but you know, all people, all earth beings are empathic and telepathic, and we communicate mostly telepathically, and then we just say words and somehow we understand. But you know, like, you can communicate with like your dogs and your cats and like your fish and all these other creatures and your plants and the trees and all these things without, you know, the language. Still, the oral language, we still communicate. And so the physical touch love language is going to be experiencing a revolution during this time period, and we're going to be experiencing different ways to physically connect without it always having to be a 3D connection. We're going to be experiencing how to experience intimacy not only with each other as people, but with other earth beings on different realms. And it's going to be very beautiful and very loving. Yeah, that looks like a boat to me. I'm also just thinking of like family structures. I don't know why. Hold on. Just kind of want to. I keep seeing angel numbers, which makes me think the angels are very, very present right now. And I had this thought that they were kind of encircling Earth and just like protecting and like guarding, like they're almost like bodyguards to Earth right now, because it's like when like someone's in labor and like the people who are like, leave her alone, she's doing something. That's like what angels are doing right now in my head. Anyways, I wanted, and we're all gonna play different roles, and some of our roles might be extremely independent from others, and yet, so we might not be working with other people in the 3D, but we're gonna be working with like our spiritual team in the 5D or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have our 3D life where we're learning to connect and learning how to heal and all these other things. But then, you know, maybe you're not working in community. Maybe you're not becoming very intimate with people in the 3D, but you're doing that with star seeds on other planets, or with your ancestors, or with, you know, gods and goddesses, with angels, with whatever. And that's valid too. Or with aliens. Is there a song? Tree Spirit, is there a song that would be helpful? Or just fill in any gaps in what I'm missing in this reading? If there is, please play it for me now. I'm gonna press shuffle. Oh, well, I guess that was the original energy. So the song that just played, or is playing right now, is More Than a Woman by Calvin Richardson. Oh my god. And this was one of the songs that also landed on an angel number. And recently I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers in songs. So I will screenshot it and keep track of all the songs. And I've been putting all the lyrics into a document. And this song was a part of it. And it's connected to the sacral chakra energy, but also the heart chakra, and building love relationships. Love is also going through its own revolution on Earth right now. And there's so many people who are going to experience such beautiful connections, such balanced connections where we support each other and where we uplift each other, especially in our dreams. Way from heaven, could it be for me? You came so far, nothing like the ordinary woman. You're the very beat inside my heart. Girl, you're like a star, I feel so common, shining like a diamond out of space. Girl, you're like my mother, my sister, my lover, irreplaceable, nothing can take your place. You're the air I breathe on a hot summer day, like a shirt with no sleeves. What makes me a man any fool can see? You're more than a woman to me. If you take that back, there will be no cure. I sail there forever like a ship with no shore. What makes me a man any fool can see? You're more than a woman to me. Okay, so in this rebirth, we're going to be starting again, obviously, at the Fool. And it's almost going to be this incredible balancing of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And obviously, there are no binaries unless you live in a world where there are binaries. But in my world, I don't really believe so much in binaries when they're oppressive. But for the sake of simplification, the divine masculine and the divine feminine are going to be so balanced and so feeding into each other and so loving. And it's going to be so fucking awesome. And I just see these revolutions around the way that we see each other and understand the way that we give to each other and the way that we nourish and feed each other. It's just very beautiful and very supportive. And there's just going to be so much honoring of the divine feminine and so much support and love for the divine feminine and the healing of the masculine and the wanting the masculine to achieve their dreams and really step into flow and really step into pleasure and happiness and confidence. And there's just such a beautiful mending. It's just, and then there's just going to be this uplifting. There's just going to be such, it's just going to feel like such a love story is what I feel like. And we're also going to be having that healed in family lines, which is probably why I was sensing this family energy in the bones, because I totally tipped it over. Oh, but now see, oh my god, because you tip it, and once you move the foundation, and even because the foundation before it was like this. There's a bone that's like this. It's shaped like this. And it was laying like this, and I thought it looked like a boat. And then it tipped when I was listening to my music and just jamming out. And you would think that this is the more stable position for a boat to be in. But remember, we've been talking about different experiences of one word. So this could be stable, but the boat tipping like this could also be stable. Maybe not in our sense of what a boat is supposed to function like on the water on Earth. But in this example, this position of the boat is actually stable and actually connects different lenses. And so when we heal this foundational energy of and bring love into the foundation and help heal the foundation around divine masculine, divine feminine, and just around intimacy and relationships and appreciating balance and appreciating both sides, many sides, then we begin to connect all the different ancestors that got left behind, all the different fragments of ourselves that got left behind, and we get a completion energy, a world, the world energy, a 10 of sticks energy where things come to a culmination, to a head, and then they close out because we were finally able to receive that energy in its fullness from acknowledging everything, acknowledging the life and everything, the validity in everything, honoring all of it. And so it's like connecting and it's healing ancestral lines, healing the relationships, healing love on earth. It's going to be beautiful relationships. It's going to be otherworldly. Anyways. And I've been thinking maybe, hold on. A girl for you and a boy for me. Not just own separate guests. Would you marry me, baby? Nothing temporary. No, it's quite contrary. Could it be for me? You came so far. Nothing like the ordinary woman. Feel the very beat inside my heart. Feel so common. You're shining like a dot out of space. Wild up, sister, I love irreplaceable. Nothing can take your place. You're the blood of my veins. You're the air I breathe. On a hot summer day, you're like a shirt with no sleeve. It makes me a man any fool can see. You're more than a woman to me. There we go. I'm also, along with this balance energy in here, I was looking for temperance and courting, the lovers and courting and temperance. Anyways, I was thinking about some of these bones felt like children to me, and it's also this healing of like the relationship between the parent and the child, also an intimacy there too, right? So a healthier intimacy, a healthier protective energy, feeling protected, feeling safe, and feeling prepared for your future, feeling like you have luck on your side because you were loved by your parents. There's also that energy, especially with the girl, you like my mother, my sister, my lover. You know what I mean? It just mixes. And sometimes we get uncomfortable with speaking like that because, you know, we think of things like incest and things like that that are, you know, abuse and things like that. But a lot of the time, you know, that type of language is kind of common in a lot of Black culture, you know, calling someone your sister or your brother, and it actually being like and it not being familial, it being intimate, it being romantic. And it's, again, understanding the complexity of a term and the many ways that it can exist, and bringing love and intimacy into those, and weaving together friendship and family and romance. It's all sweet, sweet relief. Anyways, I have to go because